With me, oh boy, the world can see that you know what I meant for me.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
And welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. We are back in studio. So nice to be home, as we will have programs for you throughout the course of the week, except for Wednesday and Friday. Well, we'll have high school hoops come up Friday, Wednesday with LCCC as they'll take on Northwest. Today's program being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, South Greeley Highway, along with downtown KRAE Avenue, north side on Yellowstone, and a corner of Ridge and Del Range, also the corner of Ridge and Pershing, your homes for Taco John's of Cheyenne and your home for the Taco Perfecto. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way with the 20s are on the lot right now, looking pretty good and waiting for you to get behind the wheel and take them out for a spin and then take them on home. It's a pretty simple drill when you shop at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. And don't forget, make sure you're bringing in that current bucket of bolts so you get good value as you trade it in over at Key of Cheyenne. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Bank, you've done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way, done everything in between. Loans. How about a home loan? How about a remodel loan? An auto loan? Hey, a HELOC. Rick and the crew do that for you, always. Platte Valley Bank, Vanda High, and at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. Yes, it is on the board, and it's waiting for you to scarf it on down with your chicken sandwich and your waffle fries. They're mac and cheese, always prepared fresh each day, Monday through Saturday. Don't forget to see Chick-fil-A for breakfast, too. Yeah, serving up 3 delicious squares Monday through Saturday. Windmill, Del Range, right across from Powersfield and Menards. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Shop indoors. See the convenient drive-thru if you are in a hurry. And again, Medicap Pharmacy here for you 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, next door to Texas Roadhouse. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. What do they sell? Well, on the appliance side, of course, GE, Maytag, Frigidaire, Whirlpool. That's just to name a few of the goodies that they have for you. So see Bruce and the crew today, B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Lennox Auto Body, the main repair center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, both part of Lennox Enterprises for over a quarter century, serving our needs in our area. And you always can depend on Lennox, 634-6608. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, again, serving up some, well, I'm telling you, some great rates right now on CDs. So see our good friends over at First Tier Bank, open Monday through Friday, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, right across the street. It's Mondello's Pizzeria. Joe and the crew invite you to come on by, sample Joe's pie. You know why? For over, well, now for its 5th decade, it's still ranked in the top 10 by the Food Network. Delicious pizza, always made fresh with all fresh ingredients, including the dough. So Mondello's Pizzeria here to serve you 7 days a week, open noon until 8 on Sundays. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. It's scoreboard time, brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Recapping from this past weekend with LCCC men's and women's basketball here in town. We'll start with the women's side of things as they hosted Gillette College, the number 24 at the time. Lady Pronghorns, where LCCC falls in that contest 80-64. With the loss, LCCC falls to 15-7 overall, 4-2 in Region 9 North play. Looking at the standings as well, too, for LCCC, they were the number 2 seed in Region 9 North. They dropped down to at least number 4 in the standings. LCCC men's basketball hosting Gillette College as well this past Saturday. The Pronghorns got it done 98-82 over LCCC. With that loss for LCCC, they're going to fall to 3-17 overall. They are 1-5 in Region 9 North play. Looking at the standings for them, they sit in 6th place right now in Region 9 North play. NHL action for tonight. You will see the Montreal Canadiens at home hosting the Washington Capitals. Ottawa Senators also too in Canada. They will play host to the New Jersey Devils. Toronto Maple Leafs will travel to Nashville to see the at least Predators at Bridgestone Arena. Dallas Stars at home at American Airlines Arena. They will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Vancouver Canucks at home. They will host the St. Louis Blues. And a battle in the Pacific as the Anaheim Ducks will travel to the Shark Tank to see the San Jose Sharks. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
NBA scoreboard, as again, it'll be another somber mood in the National Basketball Association with the loss of Kobe Bryant yesterday. It will be the Cavaliers at the Pistons in Motown at Little Caesars Arena, the Magic at the Heat at American Airlines Arena in Miami, Mavericks Thunder at the Chesapeake Energy Arena in OKC, Spurs Bulls in the United Center, Kings Timberwolves, they will match up in the Target Center, Rockets and the Jazz at the Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
All right, if you're a gamer, you know the world of gaming is full of amazing gear. Portable cannons, flying tanks, whoa, like that one.
Call 775-0123 or go to KievCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, mostly cloudy with a chance of snow showers developing this afternoon. Look for a daytime high near 40. Winds will be northwesterly at 5 to 10, increasing to 10 to 15 this afternoon. Mostly cloudy for tonight. Then gradually becoming clear after midnight, our low down to 23. Mostly sunny and breezy for your Tuesday. Expect a daytime high near 43. Mostly cloudy Tuesday night, our low down to 23. And for Wednesday, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of snow showers. Look for a daytime high of 37 degrees.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Sports Talk today, Larry Perotti, along with Nick Perotti. And our first guest, our first special guest, is we are glad that he joins us all the way from Rock Springs, Coach Stephen Soza, Western Wyoming Community College men's basketball head coach. Steve or Steven, which one? Is Steven like what your mom calls you?
That's only when I'm in trouble.
Okay, so we get by with Steve. That works for me. Coach, so glad to chat with you again. I had a chance to chat with you before the game with the Golden Eagles here most recently. And going through the resume, and I mean, half of your life has been on one side playing the game, and on other half you've been a coach. Whether it's been starting out as a student assistant, an assistant coach, or now head coach at WW for the last couple of seasons. But real quick, I got to ask this question. You started out as a student assistant. So let me ask, and that was at Oklahoma State under Eddie Sutton. So let me ask you this question. Student assistant, you just don't get the water. What did you learn to get you going into the coaching profession?
Oh man, Coach Sutton is an icon. I mean, people see him as a grumpy old man half the time, but the one thing that he really taught us when we were there is how to love and care for kids and individuals and people, to forgive and get to know individuals and understand the importance of family. I mean, he was remarkable. I mean, I didn't even play for him, and before he had his couple strokes, I'd always get a monthly phone call from him, and he'd always check in. He remembered my parents' names, and he was just so caring and attentive to detail. I mean, it was remarkable, and that's what we're trying to obviously share with our kids who come through Western Wyoming.
And also, too, you wrapped up your playing career and at a good place, though, too, Hutchinson Community College in Kansas before you got your degree at Oklahoma State. I know Nick's going to ask you a lot about what's going on in the region right now. You're at the perfect age to ask this question, and, of course, it's been all over national, international, and again, you grew up with the guy. And I'm obviously a little older, so I can go into the 60s and throw out names like Oscar Robertson and Wilt Chamberlain and such. But Kobe Bryant, the passing of Kobe Bryant again, also with his daughter, I mean, a horrible situation yesterday. But again, the basketball player himself. And again, we look at how many points Kobe scored, but we also look at the longevity in the NBA, the 5 NBA championships. You just don't get that from scoring 40 points every game. A little bit of the Kobe Bryant remembrance from you.
I got a text message from a friend yesterday morning, and she texted me telling me that Kobe passed away, and I not to change subjects, today actually marks the 19th anniversary of the plane crash at Oklahoma State when I was a student assistant there. And so for that to happen 24 hours prior to the 27th, it kind of put my heart into my stomach, understanding the value of life. And it was so disheartening because, like you said, Kobe affected so many people in a positive manner. I can sit here and remember back in 1995 when ESPN first created their first magazine, and they had a huge article on Kobe Bryant, and he was wearing his Adidas shoes and his ABDCD jersey, and that's the first time I heard of Kobe when he was a junior in high school. And to follow his career, knowing that we were the same age, and I think I retweeted something today about, it had a perfect video of him. It had his press conference of when he announced he was going pro, and it called him the kid, and it called him the champion, then it called him the legend, then it called him the hero, then it called him the villain, and I think that personifies how I felt about him throughout his career. You loved him, you hate him, and then ultimately you become a fan of him and what he accomplished. And to hear the NBA players talk about his drive and his overcompetitiveness and preparation, it's remarkable. Talking to my father last night, he brought up to mention that people become devastated when we lose a famous individual, and I had to tell him that it's kind of amazing that so many people try to find ways to emulate, connect, reenact, just to be inspired by somebody, and it's kind of like losing a family member. And Kobe is just unbelievable. I mean, he was a spitting image of Jordan, and you and I were fortunate enough to watch Jordan play in his prime and the skill level. I mean, you go back and I think you find YouTube highlights of where they just split the image of Jordan rising up to shoot a shot and Kobe's finishing it. I mean, they were just spitting images. It's unbelievable.
Well, and again, we'll at least as we're looking at what we saw with Kobe Bryant, but let's look towards your team, though, Coach, of the current student athletes, where they might have saw a few seasons with Kobe Bryant, but obviously, again, the history, the legend of one Kobe Bryant, or at least your student athletes should, whether it is through YouTube highlights, as you mentioned, reading articles on ESPN, and just knowing at least the history of the Lakers program. But what was kind of the reaction, or at least have you gotten a reaction from some of your at least athletes, a part of your squad?
We had a study hall last night, and I was able to visit with some of them, and they were just in shock because, they grew up watching Kobe Bryant, and they're like, Coach, what, this is sad. What do you do? And, we talk to our kids on a daily basis that life is so precious. That's one of the valuable lessons I learned from Coach Sutton, that life is so precious. You have to cherish everything you do and everybody you're around, and put yourself around good individuals in order to, lift you up through trying times. And that's the most important fact that we try to get our kids to understand, that we're given opportunities, and we have to run with them and make the most of them. We can't put off getting term papers done, extra shots up, and embrace life, because it's so precious and it could end so quick. And a couple of kids came and sat down in my office this morning, and we talked about, one of my kids told me he hung up his Kobe jersey in his room, and he's not going to take it down until he moves out of the dorms. And I can sit there and kind of connect with that, because I felt the same way when Magic Johnson announced his retirement back in 1991 or 92. You're devastated. But the great thing about it is that these athletes give us something to look forward to ease our mind from our daily lives with their performances and their championships, and it gives us something to aspire to be like.
Well, in a term that you use, Coach, and we'll go off of the theme and kind of look into what has been 2019-2020 for the Mustangs out there in western Wyoming, where, taking advantage of the opportunity. Well, your squad has done that here this season as you stand right now 20-2, undefeated in Region 9 North play at 6-0. You do have a big game coming up on the road against Gillette College that is hot on your tail, along with a few other teams in Region 9 North. But looking at this season, though, and the new polls that came out, you're number 9, nationally ranked, just behind, at least 2 spots behind an Otero team that you upset here in town at LCCC in a neutral site about a few weeks ago. But just talk about this season, Coach. Again, 2019-2020 of your Western Wyoming Mustangs, and how magical it has been at this point in time with 22 games under your belt.
That's something it's remarkable. It's a great feeling, and I think it's the first time Western Wyoming's ever been ranked in the top 25, let alone the top 10. And it's a testament to our kids. I did a TV interview last week when we were up in Casper, and they asked me what our success was. And truth be told, a lot of credit, actually all the credit, goes to the 4 sophomores who came back. They had opportunities to leave, and they decided to commit to this program. And those 4 sophomores now have won 27 of the last 32 games. They ended the last season on a 5-game winning streak before they lost Eastern Wyoming in the playoffs, and they came back with a mission. And they understand the importance of walking through history. Each day we remind them to embrace what we have going on right now, because this is history in Western Wyoming's basketball history. And that's what's so great about it. They figured out how things to win, and I tell you, it's easy to see teams and understand that their chemistry's on or off. And one thing about these 11 guys who suit up on a daily basis, they love each other. They care about each other. They don't care who scores. They don't care who gets the accolades. They just want to win. It's. I think I told you guys when you were here last Wednesday that I swear sometimes I coach third graders because they poke and prod each other so much you have to separate them on the bus, because they just poke and prod each other, having fun and teasing each other, and I think that contributes to a lot of our success on and off the court.
When we were there last Wednesday, and again too, Eastern came in right after LCCC. And to be real honest, Coach, I think you know this as well as anybody. You've got the big bullseye in your chest, and everybody's looking to knock off one of the top dogs. And obviously, at Rushmore Gym, LCCC never rolled over and played dead. We thought they were early in that second half, but they battled back, and Eastern gave you all you can handle. Are we getting to that point of the season, Coach, even though you've got the sophomore veterans along with that group of freshmen, but are we getting to that point of the season right now where they feel a little, especially the freshman guys, starting to feel that burnout, like, wow, we've already got 22 games in?
That's one thing that we talk about. We do talk about quite often. At the beginning of the year, we always put the number 30 on the board, saying you only have 30 games and it's going to go by quicker than you think. When you're 18, 19 in a small town, you want to escape it so quick and so fast, and you want to leave, and you're so bored. And then after we got done playing Eastern Wyoming, I put the number 8 on the board, and guys, you guys have 8 games left. 9 games is guaranteed. What you've accomplished is pretty good, but, what does it mean if you don't have hardware at the end of the year? I mean, people always ask you how the season finished. Now, where did you peak at in the rankings? To challenge them. I'm fortunate because, most of my kids, like I said, they're gym rats and they love each other. I come in every day at 8 o'clock, and today I had 2 kids come in at 8 o'clock. Yesterday I came to the office for a couple hours, 4 kids moseyed over. They wanted to get shots up. So the burnout, I don't necessarily think they have burnout. I think they're hungry for more, and hopefully, the ball continues to roll our way.
You're very solid in the backcourt, and of course, I was very impressed with were the wings, obviously with Trost out of Woodcross, Utah, and of course picking up the Prim youngster out of Aurora, Colorado. And then you also got another one that backs up your center, that being Trey Pierce, again, also out of the Denver market. But I think right now, when we look at, well, you got some sophomore leadership on the floor in Marble and Duhart and Manel Ale, but your freshmen are the ones that, they make sure that you get those packages signed, sealed, and delivered for wins.
Oh, I can't. You hit it on the nose. Trevor Trost has exceeded my expectations. I knew he was going to be a blue collar type of kid and be able to shoot the ball. He's raised his production level immensely since we got back from break. He's had some huge games. His shooting's starting to come around, and you got to give him a lot of credit because he went 2 years without playing basketball when he was on his mission. And so it took him a while to kind of get to the speed of the game, but you could see when he got here that his he had the demeanor and motor to get it done. I think he's lost 22 pounds since he arrived on campus back in September. And then obviously you got Dane, who's a workhorse, and Trey Pierce, who played limited minutes in his first semester because of his ankle was the size of a watermelon. It was unbelievable. He's coming along, and there's one kid on my team that doesn't get enough accolades. I think personally is the Sindhu Cisse kid. He's kind of like my Swiss Army knife. If my point guards make me mad, I'll make them go run one, and if my post players make me mad, he can go down and play the 5. So. Like I said, I got a group of kids who really enjoy competing with one another and want to be successful, academics. I think our semester GPA was like a 3.1 or a 3.2 as a whole. So I tell you right now, it's nice to go home at night and close my eyes and not worry about them not completing their homework.
Coach, final question for me, at least towards you and the squad right now, what you're doing, how special it is for Western Wyoming, and then also too kind of putting the state of Wyoming on the map, or at least Rock Springs right now across the nation. But you sit number 9 nationally ranked, 20-22. You're putting on a phenomenal season where, have an opportunity to possibly go far in the region tournament, and if not, make it to the national tournament. What does this do, though, this season for recruiting, to bringing out athletes to the city of Rock Springs, to Western Wyoming, to be a part of your squad for future seasons? How big is this going to be for those future classes there for the Mustangs?
It's going to open up a lot of doors. My front court is all freshmen, and to say that you're going to come in and play with some highly recruited kids, because Trevor and Dane and Trey are starting to kind of get some looks from some pretty good schools, that you're going to open up the doors and open up a kind of Pandora's box of recruits. There's some kids out of Colorado we really want, and there's some kids out of Utah we really want, and to be able to go and tell them how well we're doing and providing examples of success of all our other kids opens up a lot of doors. So in the long run, I think it's going to open up a lot of things, because I'll be honest with you, the only time I ever heard of Rock Springs was that Turnpike Troubadour song, Cheyenne to Rock Springs. It's a good one, talks about the winters and all the snowfall, so I recommend go listen to it.
Coach, real quick, want to thank you again for joining us. Appreciate all the nice compliments you gave us, too, when we were over there most recently in Rock Springs. Also, your time at NJC, so you had years there under Eddie Trenkel. But, and going back to follow up on Nick's question, too, with recruiting, again, that's a year-round profession for you guys these days. And when I was there looking at your roster, you got some Wyoming kids, you got kids out of the Colorado market, you're getting into Utah, and then you also can go into that international market. A little bit, though, did the NJC days help you solidify going into Colorado anytime and convincing these guys to play ball for you at Western?
Recruiting is a lot about relationships, building relationships with the kids. And I was fortunate enough. I knew some guys who knew some kids who were looking for spots who have a good eye on talent. And, I've been in this profession 20-some years now. That's a long time. But, getting to know individuals who understand what kind of kids you're looking for and what kind of program you run is key. And I think that, like I said, that's opened quite a few doors for us. And, spending my time, with Coach Trinkle for 10 years has opened up a lot of doors. And, we've built a good relationship and understand each other and try not to step on each other's toes as it comes to recruiting, but at the end of the day, our goal is to win a lot of games and move these kids on and get them their degrees and, again, create opportunities of a lifetime for them.
Well, Coach, we want to thank you again for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Looking forward to seeing you when you come to Cheyenne with your Mustangs, and we'll look forward to calling that game once again for you.
Hey, I just want to tell you guys again. I want to make sure everybody understands you guys do a phenomenal job. My mom actually gave you guys a lot of credit after I got my technical foul here in Rock Springs, and my mom said that you guys were defending me on the broadcast. So, you guys now have a fan of my mother. So, I definitely appreciate you guys.
Well, we're not doing anything for Thanksgiving and Christmas, so our calendar is open right now.
Sounds good.
Coach, we'll see you when you come to Cheyenne. Take care. Coach Steve Soza, head coach of the Western Wyoming Mustangs, joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. The nationally ranked, number 9, as they move from number 12. Matter of fact, Otero moved from 7 to 10, so each of those two squads moving up 3 notches up the national rankings.
Again, the difference between that is Western Wyoming does have the at least win on the neutral side happening here at LCCC being played at the RAC for at least Western Wyoming, but at least Otero has 1 loss overall. Western has a 2, so that's kind of the difference maker, even though head-to-head, Western has beaten on a neutral site that Otero team. So, but we'll see what this team does. They have a tough road trip coming up, as they will see the likes of at least at Gillette this Wednesday and Saturday at Sheridan. You wonder if they're going to stay overnight for those at least couple days, or else going to make that trip all the way back to Rock
do
Springs.
That trip like we did. No, yeah. That's and looking ahead, even weather-wise through the state of Wyoming, it looks like it's going to be okay. For traveling and such, but
snowing up in the at least central part.
I know, but I'm just saying though, you just don't want to be going back and forth. That's just wear and tear on miles.
But still, though,
you don't want to miss any school.
Tough trips, though, at least upcoming for at least for Western Wyoming to at least remain perfect in Region 9 North. Again, continuing the momentum that they do have as we look again who they will be seeing. Gillette, a team that we saw this past Saturday at the RAC take care of business pretty handily against LCCC, which we'll talk more after the break. But a team that is 19-2, 5-1 in Region 9 North. Gillette has a lot to play for. They're on the heels of Western Wyoming, and now having that team to go travel all the way up to at least up to Gillette. Again, kind of a tall task, but you wonder if the Mustangs can shake off this Wednesday's at least contest against Eastern and rebounds and takes care of business against the Pronghorns.
We'll see. And again, it all remains to be seen. Coming up Wednesday, we want to mention too here on 1480 KRAE, we will start the second go around. Even though we haven't taken on Eastern yet, we'll have that matchup go by pretty quick. We will have the Northwest Lady Trappers and Trappers in town at the RAC, the Recreation and Athletics Complex. That'll be a Wednesday tap time, 5:30 for the ladies, 7:30 for the guys. We will be back after a timeout right here in 1480 KRAE.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
This might not be your New Year's resolution, but it should be. Never drink and drive. Ever. Be smart and stay safe. Getting behind the wheel after even one drink is a recipe for disaster. Be the envy of your friends and stick to your resolution. You'll be glad you did, and you'll be here to talk about it. Don't drink and drive. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
Holy cow, what is Burry Jewelers up to now? It's Super Bowl sale time at your favorite jeweler.
Burry's entire inventory reduced 50 to 75%. Doors open at 11 a.m. Super Bowl Sunday, and you have 5 hours to liquidate the store. Every ring, necklace, and watch. Everything must go. Discounts are so deep, Burry's is practically giving away the best jewelry for next to nothing. Burry Jewelers, 2206 Del Range.
Burry Jewelers' famous Super Bowl sale, 11 to 4 Super Bowl Sunday. Be there. Be there.
When you are dealing with the Coin Shop to buy, sell, or trade your gold, silver, or other precious metals, you will be met with honesty, fairness, knowledge, and exceptional customer service. The Coin Shop has been serving Cheyenne since 1982 and is a respected member of our community. Call David today at 778-7196 to meet privately or visit during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. The Coin Shop, a dealer you can trust, 510 West 16th Street.
B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store for well over 50-plus years. Not only do we offer several major brands, but we service what we sell. We also have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts in the service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service. What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti. Nick, if you don't mind, why don't we just go ahead and stay on the JUCO side?
That was a plan. That's what I alluded to.
And we also will have coming up the press conference from head coach Gerald Mattinson, the head coach of the Cowgirls, who were inactive over the weekend but picked up a big win in the AA against San Diego State Lady Aztecs last week.
Yeah,
so
they've had a break, but they will have games upcoming this weekend.
The break came at the right time, especially for the Cowgirls, as they're still, in that middle of the pack portion of the Mountain West. Unfortunately, the guys are...
Yeah, the guys' pretty much season is kind of in check. It's pretty much done for them. Will they pick up a win in the Mountain West Conference? We'll see. That's to be determined. Coming up, I think... Again, not seeing who at least is up next for Wyoming coming up. I do believe they play tomorrow at the AA for the Cowboys, but we'll see what happens. But either way, though, JUCO basketball here in town this past Saturday with LCCC hosting Gillette. Two teams where the women nationally ranked at the time, number 24 coming in that contest. Gillette, the Pronghorns, the men not ranked. And looking at this updated rankings for at least today that came out from the NJCAA for Division I basketball, not even in the top 25 for the Pronghorns, not even receiving at-large votes right now for the Pronghorns. A team that's kind of getting a little disrespected at 19-2 overall, 5-1 in Region 9 North play on the men's side, so very surprising there. At least do want to mention with the men's poll, as we mentioned, Otero. That squad, 19-1, they're number 7. Western Wyoming at number 9, 20-2. And then the other team out of Region 9, this team also 2 being out of the North, that being the Casper Thunderbirds that are number 22. They are 18-3. So that is your Region 9 representation on the men's side.
All right, real quick, you asked about the Cowboys. You shall receive. They have Utah State in the AA tomorrow night, and the Cowgirls on Wednesday night will be in Logan, Utah to take on the Lady Aggies. All right, looking back at Saturday's action, and I got to come right out and say, just just disappointed, especially on the ladies' side. And when you shoot 22 of 72, and we started out in the hole right away, which we'll get to in just a sec.
Yeah.
But when the ladies shoot 22 of 72 from the field, 29% in your own building, I don't expect you to win.
And Gillette, were they gangbusters on the defensive side? Not really. Not really. Again, you had some size there to defend against, but LCCC getting good looks, good opportunities. It was pretty much more so on both men and women's side. It was LCCC shooting themselves in the foot.
You had your one sophomore go 5 for 15. That's 33% from the field. Your inside big went 4 of 11. Again, she's not shooting anything past 15 feet.
Yeah.
You're big. Off the bench, you had one young lady came in who was pressing the service early. She went 2 of 10. So just between the three right there, you are 11 of 36. It's not going to win you ball games.
And you wonder right now, this team that is kind of heavily freshman, you have a few sophomores that are also too kind of, again,
they're slumping,
slacking a bit right now. It is that length of the season where, for sophomores or the vets, you should be accustomed to this at this point in time. But, right now it is, are we seeing what the real LCCC team is made of right now on the court in the past 3 contests? We hope not. But it's been a trend that has gone on, as I mentioned, all the way starting from Central Wyoming, where they struggled against that team that was at a point in time, again, with only 4 wins. They still only have 4 wins right now, as we'll get to those standings. But, struggled against Central. You lost to Sheridan.
Did not even play well against Sheridan.
You didn't. Again, there was multitude factors, but yes, LCCC was their own worst enemy in the Golden Dome.
The word I used was clumsy in that game. They were clumsy.
And at home against Gillette, again, a nationally ranked team, but this is a LCCC team at that point coming into that contest was 2-1 against nationally ranked opponents. And not even including Region 9 nationally ranked teams, that being Casper College. They defeated Midland at Arizona on a neutral site. So this is a team that is accustomed to top 25 opponents and also to top 25 teams coming into the RAC. They've hosted 2 so far, one being Western, that is, again, sitting right now at number 3 in the nation, and that being Western Nebraska, and also to Casper, which they got the victory over. So in LCCC, they know what it takes to defeat top 25 teams.
And they've been road tested. I mean, they even struggled at Western against the Lady Mustangs.
Yeah.
So, again, as you mentioned, at Central Wyoming, they struggled, did not play well. And, again, there's, like you said, a multitude of factors, but they were clumsy at Sheridan. Western, they played well enough to win.
And Central and Western are 2 inexcusable games that you should not play down to.
You should be blowing this team off
especially
the floor.
With Central right now for the women, at least looking at the Lady Rustlers, they're 0-6 in Region 9 North. They're 4-15. Western, the Lady Mustangs, they're 0-6 as well, too. They're 3-17. You shouldn't be struggling against those teams where at this point in time, before Saturday's end result, at least for the Lady Golden Eagles, you were a team that was number 2 in Region 9 North play. Just behind. You were a game behind Gillette. If you won that contest, you would have had that tiebreaker at that time to be the number 1 team in the land, or at least in Region 9 North play. Again, Region 9 North, at least for the postseason tournament, gets to host the entire thing. LCCC had that shot this past Saturday to basically be in the driver's seat to control their own destiny. To host the Region 9 North tournament.
Well, and again, you go back to Saturday's game. You had Gillette College turn the ball over 27 times. Think about that.
LCCC kept it relatively clean.
They turned it over 16 times, but so you got an 11 turnover advantage right there. Should be points. Well, they didn't capitalize on the turnovers. They did not capitalize on basically anything in that game.
No.
They shot 14 of 22 from the free throw line, whereas their opponents went 18 of 22. Their opponents shot 8 of 23 from beyond the arc. We shot 6 of 29. So, again, in your own home building, you were not good. How many, and again, how many inside shots, Nick? I can go to about 8 that we miss point blank because we're rushing it.
You're rushing, and it feels like it's an LCCC team on the ladies' side that is basically throwing up errant shots to almost get that foul call. They're basically tossing it up to at least get that 2-shot opportunity from behind, at least from the free throw stripe, to have that opportunity. It feels like that right now for LCCC, but this is a team that is trending downwards, and it reflects in the standings right now as we look. Gillette College standing at top right now, 6-0. They're 20-2 in the at least national rankings. They did move up as well. Looking at for Gillette College, they moved up from 24 to now 21. Right behind them is going to be Casper College, the Lady Thunderbirds that are 5-1, 18-3 for Casper College. They move also two up in the rankings. They're back up now to number 19 overall. Looking at least four right behind them is going to be Sheridan College. They sit tied with LCCC, but as of right now, they hold the tiebreaker in Region 9 North play. They're 4-2, 13-8. Again, that win at home versus LCCC. LCCC now finds themselves, they've dropped from number 2 in Region 9 North to number 4 at 4-2 in North play, 15-7 overall. And then from there, it's Eastern Wyoming at 3-3, 10-10. Northwest 2-4, 11-11. Northwest coming into town this Wednesday, and then Central and Western Wyoming.
The sad part of this is, as I look back on that game, again, where they missed about 8 inside shots. I know that they're always undersized, especially on the wings. Jakia Wells and Sam Hester usually are going up against 6-footers, okay? But when they're inside, and, I think of 2 or 3 that Haley Anderson, where she just bricked it.
Yeah.
You know how many blocks that the Lady Pronghorns had in that game? 1.
Mm-hmm.
1 block shot. So they're rushing everything. They feel the heat in the lane instead of just naturally just putting it up.
It's a team that's panicking for whatever reason.
Exactly. Why? And Coach Ortmeyer can't figure that out.
And some of the shots, again, high percentage, shouldn't be, again, attempted as they have been. It's pretty much a team right now, and you talk about some of the bigs or at least players that are getting on the inside. A lot of it's flat-footed. A lot of it's on the ground. You're not even jumping up to at least get that guaranteed shot or at least layup. It's pretty much doing everything flat-footed and just tossing it up that brick.
Is Gillette College that much better than LCCC?
Gillette, from what they played, they did not look like a nationally ranked team.
Yeah, they're okay.
I think Casper proves that they probably are better than Western. Again, it reflects in the national rankings.
I wasn't wowed by this team, but ever since the Casper College win at the RAC, Lady Golden Eagles have not been themselves. It's almost like they wore themselves out.
I think this is a team that also at least got a little overconfident. To see
it. They're getting smacked around right now. And I mean, in their last 4 games, 3 of them have been on the road. They're getting smacked around. Western, Eastern, Central, at Sheridan. And again, Sheridan, there was a multitude of factors where they got smacked around. And this one against Gillette.
Yeah.
They're the Lady Golden Eagles right now are their own worst enemy. It's not their opponents.
And if you play the same way coming up this Wednesday at home against Northwest, that's a Lady Trappers team
that's hungry.
That played pretty decent against LCCC, almost came away with that victory. Northwest is going to make you pay as well, too. This is a Northwest team that's going to attempt to make at least opportunities over those turnovers or at least those missed shots. It's something where on paper LCCC should have originally cruised in this contest or at least get the guaranteed win at home. Now you question if LCCC on the ladies' side, if they beat Northwest coming up this Wednesday. And then past Wednesday, you go back up to Casper coming up Saturday to start the month of February, where you're going to see that number 19 Casper College Lady Thunderbirds team at the Swede, who is pretty. I would have thought that team's probably a little upset of what happened.
They're frothing right now, waiting. They're frothing at the mouth, waiting for these Lady Golden Eagles to come up there because they've got something to show and prove. Because again, after LCCC beat Casper, they took it out on Sheridan the next time they were on the floor, 92-33. That's kind of a scary thought just thinking about that. All right, so
do want to mention as well too on the ladies' side, just to wrap it up very quickly before we get into men's action. But we did also have a 2-shot technical at the beginning of the contest, which is apparently supposed to be happening in both the women and men's contest for LCCC. They're live at the rack due to the fact that the new installed boards, or at least the shot clocks that we had issues with last season, and the newly installed one due to a former athletic, at least director there at LCCC, we have a continued issue that at least when it signals for at least the end of the quarter or end of half, light should at least flash on for those at least shot clocks.
Right.
They don't. Whatever, from replacing a bulb or whatever it is internally in that shot clock. Well, now refs have been alerted to it. Recognize it again by the
Region 9.
Yeah, Region 9 officiating kind of head office or whatever. They have now alerted crews that come to the rack to look out for that. And how every contest at the rack from here on out until LCCC and that athletic department kind of pulls their heads out and gets it fixed, we're going to have a technical.
Two-shot foul, and you're down.
Two-shot foul for not only just the women. It was supposed to happen in the men's game, but at least thankfully that crew did not recognize. But
keep that under your hat there, Nick. So anyway, the ladies were right away behind the 8-ball, 2-0.
Yeah, due to the fact, again, it was out of their control. It's due to the fact of that athletic department there at LCCC, or at least, again, whoever is in control of that. And again, kind of looking at the head person there at LCCC.
Or the maintenance. Somebody needs to get this looked at like ASAP.
Well, again, that is something that hopefully interim AD, at least Cindy Henney, is looking at right now, or at least is going to address at some point in time before Wednesday's game, that this doesn't happen again to LCCC. That's inexcusable. That's a joke.
It was an embarrassment, actually. After we found out when it was, and we did not address that with
Brian Ortmeyer. It's a spin to face the coach and his team as well, too, whether it is, the technical is going to be against him or at least against LCCC for both the men and women. It's a spit in the face to both of those squads if it does happen again coming up this Wednesday.
All right, so we move from the ladies to the guys, where, again, down by about 8 at halftime, where they to the better teams, they've been within earshot. They come out and
kept it entertaining against Western. They've kept it. This is an LCCC team that it fights, it tries to fight, and then it finds a way to gas itself out for about 5-10 minutes, and whether it is early in the second half, late in the second half, wherever it may be. But this is an LCCC squad that in the second half was down by, 3?
Well,
got it down from a lead that was eventually as high as, I do believe, 25.
Well, Western came out Gillette came out right away and went on an unbelievable run to start the second half. And I think they were up by 20 before we had a chance to blink our eye. And then LCCC bounces back, got it down to within 3.
They fought through that entire contest, but Gillette just proved, again, that 98-82 final does not at least indicate of how close the game was, especially in that second half.
But remember back at the time when they were down by 3, 2-3 successive possessions ended in turnovers?
Yeah.
I look down here on the turnover list by the Golden Eagles. 25 in the game. I look at the guards that that primarily handle the basketball. Between the 3 guards that handle 15 turnovers.
And a lot came from the hands of Perry. Same with Chris Grace. It was those scenarios where, whether it is looking towards Ficca, trying to set up offense, trying to at least look at who's moving on that court.
Or not sure on the passes.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, we've known passes have been an issue for LCCC this entire season. But it was another inexcusable mistakes by LCCC, by at least players on that court, that allowed Gillette to basically shut the door on that comeback, or at least come from behind opportunity for LCCC, and basically said, no, get back in line and still retain to be that team that is sitting 6th in the rankings. And again, right now with the loss, 3-17 overall. Basically, Gillette said, hey, know your place, get out of our way.
And here's the ironic part. Gillette committed a lot of personal fouls in that contest.
Yeah, we had again. Ficca, at least Coach Ficca mentioned that in the postgame with you. I talked about it as well too. Of compared to Western, at least in this game, free throws were better.
We were 29 of 34 from the free throw line, 9 of 22 at Western.
Where was that at Western? Where you could have, at least if you took those numbers, you probably could have upset Western there in Rock Springs. But instead, it's more the inconsistency with this team. Free throws worked this Saturday, but shooting from the field was awful.
So the game that we're looking at against Northwest, the team they've beat at Powell. So the question,
and that was a close one against Trappers. That was not a blowout win for LCCC.
No.
You were fortunate. You had to come from behind to win that game at Powell against Northwest.
So the question is, with this team, and they shot better. They shot better in their own building. They were at 40% from the field, 7 of 18 from beyond the arc. They still have some shooting issues going on.
Yeah.
But, and you got the free throw shooting kind of taken care of here against the Pronghorns. I guess my question is, which team is going to show up on the floor Wednesday night? Again, we have not seen the team play basketball yet. We've seen some good individual efforts.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Again,
but we haven't seen a team win yet.
It has not been a full 5 starters or, again, full 5 crew out there that has led LCCC to a win since, again, the start of the 2020 season at Powell against Northwest. Now you've beaten this team. You know you can do it again now you have them at home, but you wonder how this Northwest team, now recognizing of, well, here's our flaws, here's what led us to that loss. We know that this team is beatable, clearly, again, looking at the overall standings for LCCC, but it is that question for the Golden Eagles of what is going to be the issue. It's not what team is going to show up. You almost have to ask at this point in time, what's going to be the issue this time for LCCC? Well, is it going to be free throw shooting? Is it going to be shots? Is it going to be turnovers? Is it going to be a cold spell here and there by LCCC? It is at that point in time of how this season is going for LCCC. What is going to be the issue this time that they have to overcome?
Well, you know what they had to overcome last Saturday was the bench. 2 guys beat them. Was it Tiante, McKeithen, and Jaden Koch?
Yeah.
Those 2 guys off the bench. 49 points between those 2 guys.
Our bench
alone. Got to play some defense.
Let's see, looking at our bench alone for LCCC, you mentioned 40 points, but between those 2, bench alone right now, 16, how about 21 points between 4 players?
There we go.
2 did play, so 6. Again, 6 in total came off your bench, but amount of 21 at least points off your bench. Yeah. 3-17. 3-17 at this point in time for LCCC. However, though, as we look at the standings on the men's side of things in Region 9 Northwestern Wyoming, as we've mentioned a couple times, they're 6-0, 20-2 overall. Their number, at least they lead the pack. Right behind them is Gillette College at 5-1. They're 19-2 overall. Casper is right behind them, hot on their heels. They have not played each other yet, so again, you don't have a tiebreaker between Gillette or Casper, but Casper's behind them at 5-1, 18-3 overall. Central rounds out the top 4. They are 4-2 in North Play. They're 14-7, and then trailing at least bottom 4. And this is an interesting one to see. Sheridan College, they're only 2-4 in Region 9 North. They're 14-8 overall. LCCC is going to be in 6th place, at least as of now, before Wednesday's contest, as they are 1-5 in Region 9 North Play, 3-17 overall, but they do have the current tiebreaker with the win at Northwest. Northwest College Trappers, they are 1-5 as well. They're 9-13, and rounding out Region 9 North Play, 0-6 and 10-11 are the Eastern Wyoming Lancers.
All right. Well, we've done enough on the JUCO side. We're going to take a break, come back. Press conference, Gerald Mattinson after the victory against the Lady Aztecs, and a look ahead to the Lady Aggies coming up for the Cowgirls. We're back after this right here in 1480 KRAE. MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
Every day we have the opportunity to lead by example. In delivering reliable, affordable, and responsible electricity to power what matters to you, we are taking bold steps to change how your energy is produced. With 50% of your electricity coming from renewable sources by 2024. Because as a cooperative, we are changing together. Whatever the future holds, we'll power it. Tri-State. Cooperative power transformed.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
They probably knew you guys wanted to get the ball in the post, but you're still successful. Could you just touch on that, please?
Once again, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't, today wasn't planned, and neither was it there. It was just, we were in motion. And, she had some opportunities early. We got her the ball in places she could score. She produced. And like I said, we didn't, it sounds crazy, but the way the motion works, and if we run it well enough, she's going to have that single side or have some other opportunities, especially with them switching. And she responded to the bell. I mean, there was a couple times I think in the third quarter, I just told her, you go where you want, get where you want. We ran 2 actions of motion, and we just threw her in the ball, and then she was able to produce. And it's like we've said all year, when the baskets go in, when the shots go in, you score points, and it's pretty good. And we've had some nights, obviously, where we've had a lot of looks and they don't go in, but tonight was a good night.
Only 6 turnovers tonight. Taylor said when you guys score less than 10 turnovers, or when you guys commit less than 10 turnovers, you guys win. What do you have to say about that?
That's what we talk about. We talked about that for the last 2 days. That's we can't have turnovers. I mean, and some turnovers you can live with. The turnovers we can't have, which we've had in the last some of our games here, are the turnovers at the top of the we call it turnovers at the top, which are leading to transition or baskets the other way. Like we said, in some cases. I tell our players, I just assume you hold the ball and take a turnover and let them inbound the ball. But tonight we handled their switching defense very well. I didn't like the pace we played at early in the game in offense, but I thought in the second half we came out and our pace picked up. With our actions and with our reads, and we got a lot, especially in the third quarter. We got a lot of our action going to the basket. We got in the bonus early, in the third quarter, and we were able to get to the free throw line quite a bit and get those free points. So, turnovers are huge. They always have been huge. I thought we played a good pace with those few turnovers, so I'm pleased with that.
Defensive pressure was definitely there tonight. I thought, especially for Tommy. They had a lot of shots late in the shot clock. They were forced. Just talk about your defense tonight.
Yeah, I thought. I'll be honest with you. I thought Tommy came in and gave us a great defensive spark. It sounds funny because everybody's always going, well, who's your offensive spark? I mean, Tommy came in defensively. There was a stretch there in the end of the first half, and then again in the third quarter, and she literally shut the ball screen down. I mean, she was over it, she was under it. Sometimes they couldn't hit her. She did a really, really good job. And then, I probably played her too long. She probably got a little bit tired. Had a little bit, but then came right back and made some big plays and some big steals toward the end. So I thought Tommy played a really good game. You know what? And that goes back to the turnover situation. She also, not only did she play with a high level on the defensive end, she was able to handle the ball and handle their pressure and bring the ball up and get us into what we needed. And so I thought she played an excellent game.
Just how happy are you for Taylor?
I can't explain to you guys how happy I am for Taylor. reach this first accomplishment. I know also, she's just a few assists away from being at 300, and she'll leave her mark as, only the fifth Cowgirl in history to have over 1,000 points and 300 assists. And I just, she's just been that steady player her whole career. And so for her to be able to this year, with all the changes that have gone on, playing, with a lot of the new kids and whatever, to still be able to step up and reach that 1,000 points, I'm so happy for her. And that's one of the things I told her out there. She deserves it. She's earned it. She had stayed in come back over the summers, worked on her game, worked on different ways to score. So what she's become, what a lot of people don't understand is, her first 2 years, she was more or less just a catch and shoot kind of kid, the benefactor of drawing kicks, a lot of threes. She's worked on her game a lot, to score in a variety of ways, be able to put the ball on the floor, score at the basket, do some of those things. So that's just helped her game. So I'm so happy for her, and I just, I hope we can get a couple more assists and make some baskets so she can reach the 300 assist plateau also.
A week until your guys' next game, what's your biggest focus here in this next upcoming week?
Well, in the next 2 days, what we talked about is we'll practice tomorrow. The next two practices will be about us. We'll work on our motion. We'll work on some sets we haven't ran in a long time. We'll work on some things, some back what we call shell drills, some fundamental defensive stuff, some individual skills. We'll do all those kinds of things for the next 2 days. And then we're going to take Saturday and Sunday off, and then just get right back into our routine of Monday, Tuesday, play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, play Saturday, and see how that goes. We're tired. I mean, we're tired. It's not that these next 2 days are going to be, extremely hard or extremely easy. They're just going to be, hey, we're going to get some skills, we're going to get some shots. Maybe clean up some things and just keep your wind a little bit. But we do need a little bit of rest. I think our legs were a little bit tired, so it's a good time to have a break.
Coach, you touched a little bit on Taylor's growth just a second ago. What has been her impact both on the court, off the courts of this team?
Oh, Taylor has. I'm going to use this in a very endearing term for her, and what Taylor has become is she's become this group's mother. She's the old one. She's, last night she was making sure everybody, they wanted to get together last night on their own and, have some dinner and play some cards and watch a movie. And, she's the one organizing that. She's the one, going, okay, does everybody have rides, So she's doing all that off the court. And then on the court, she just kind of goes about her business and quietly helps bring some kids along. And you can see her out in the games. You can see her in practice. She's telling somebody, especially some of the freshmen, no, you need to do this. This is how you do this, or that make a certain cut. So she's come so far for us and has meant so much for this group, but overall for every group that she's been involved with. And And what's amazing, and not just her, for a lot of our kids, she's doing all that stuff, and she's gonna be done. She's gonna have a nursing degree, and she don't have a 4.0, but she's up there really, really high. And to me, I can't, as myself thinking back to my day, I can't imagine how much pressure some of our young women, including her, have to study the way they do, perform the way they do in the classroom, and then go, okay, let's also get this done on the court. And that's something I'm so proud of each one of them that they do.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. Pro Man Senior, Pro Man Junior, we are here, you're there, and let's get going with hour number 2. Being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Tier Bank, right across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. B&B Appliance and TV, where they service what they sell at 714 Central Avenue. Medicab Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange across from Menards and Powers Field. Platte Valley Bank over on Vandehigh, the original location and the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, and Taco John's with a plethora of locations. Pershing and Ridge, Delrange and Ridge, Yellowstone Road, KRAE Avenue, Southsiders right there on the South Greeley Highway. And it's scoreboard time. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Let's go to Nick.
We're going to recap from this past weekend as we talked in hour number 1, but just give you a quick rendition of it. LCCC for both men and women in action this past Saturday as they host Gillette College. Well, it was a sweep for both the Lady Pronghorns and Pronghorns over LCCC. In the women's contest, number 24, Gillette takes care of business against LCCC 80-64. So with LCCC on that loss, they'll fall to 15-7 overall, 4-2 in Region 9 North play. For the men, they lost to Gillette as well. Again, a final score in that one, 98-82 with LCCC's loss there. They are now 3-17 overall, 1-5 in Region 9 North play. NHL action for tonight. You will see the Montreal Canadiens at home at Bell Center. They will host the Washington Capitals. Ottawa Senators as well in Canada. They will host the New Jersey Devils. Toronto Maple Leafs will travel to Nashville to see the Predators at Bridgestone Arena. Dallas Stars at home at American Airlines Arena. They will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. St. Louis Blues will travel all the way to Vancouver to see the Canucks. And then in the Battle of the Pacific Division, the Anaheim Ducks will travel to San Jose in the Shark Tank to see the Sharks coming up tonight. That's what's happening in NHL action for this evening.
On the day after the passing of Kobe Bryant and 8 others that perished in a helicopter crash, NBA back in business again tonight. Cavaliers and the Pistons at Little Caesars Arena. Magic Heat in American Airlines Arena in Miami, Florida. Maverick Thunder at the Chesapeake Energy Arena, OKC. Bulls in the United Center hosting the Spurs. Kings, Timberwolves, Target Center, Minneapolis. And the Rockets and the Jazz will be in the Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City. Scoreboard this morning, or this afternoon, brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi!
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Tastes so good.
Tell me about it.
So,
amazing.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like we share the same mouth, Kate.
Forever and ever, Nate.
Make your taste buds happy and pick up a delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Well, if you missed out yesterday, you were somewhere out of the ozone. Kobe Bryant, along with 8 others, perished in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. It was Kobe and his daughter, John Altobelli, his wife and daughter, who played with Kobe Bryant. Another young lady passed, assistant coach with Kobe Bryant, that also perished as well.
The Antebelli, at least, again, was a long time, at least, JUCO coach on the baseball side.
Orange County coach, yeah. So I was wondering if he was related to Joe Altobelli, the former baseball manager with the Giants and Baltimore Orioles way back when, but I didn't see any connection this morning when I was looking at all. Anyway, remembrances coming across the world of number 24 and number 8.
Yeah, the big one at Staples, where again last night you had the Grammys, which again, who cares? But it was funny last night that the Grammys were trying to at least get people away from the Staples Center due to, again, just security reasons or whatever. Basically, Lakers and fans basically said no, they're going to be there at let them be there.
They were on the lower level where the Grammy folks were going up the stairs.
But I like the Grammys trying to make an argument, or at least trying to kick them away from at least setting up that memorial again in kind of disrespect fashion. But it's like, get out of here, Grammys. Who cares?
So again, the sad part of all of this too, the guy's been retired almost 3 years now, and I mean, and you have that opportunity to be with your youngster who just loved her dad. Wanted to play basketball.
It was a phenomenal talent as well, too.
And he enjoyed the coaching part.
Yeah.
And you don't even, I mean, you don't even get to do all these kind of things. Now, I mean, you wake up yesterday, your wife, for example, and your other siblings, and you find out this happens, in the news. I mean, a family was lost yesterday. I mean, this is just awful news. And I don't really know how to react.
And the sad thing as well, too, with this situation, again, for all those involved, especially at least with Kobe Bryant, where you have some individuals or some morons out there on the social medias bringing up his past, or at least basically in light of what happened, basically go, hey, let's look at the negatives and basically bring that up to
what
light.
happened in Colorado years ago.
It's like show a little bit, a little more decency.
Nick, we could show the negative too by saying we don't like the Lakers.
Yeah.
But do we say Kobe Bryant was a great basketball player? Absolutely.
I'm just saying, it was a shame, though, you had some of those that leaked through that showed some of that disrespect, or at least, again, kind of tasteful, at least.
It's tasteless, yeah. And again,
show a little class.
It's just one of those deals that people will never forget. Those, and again, those asterisks sometimes will get brought out even in death.
Yeah.
So, anyway, just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Small side note as well, too. It's just recently announced that the Lakers and Clippers game coming up, I do believe tomorrow
night.
has been canceled, again, due to the fact of what recently happened. So, rescheduling that contest has not been set up. I think for the Lakers, their next contest will be against the Trailblazers. So, again, the game tomorrow night at Staples between the two LA teams has been canceled and will be rescheduled at a later date, but has not been announced yet.
So we will move on from the Kobe Bryant story, where it's everywhere, and and we wanted to just mention that in case you missed out, and again, 8 others in addition to Kobe, including his daughter, were perished in that helicopter crash. NTSB on site.
They've already come out with their investigation, or at least findings, but it will take about a year to at least gather all.
What was the initials? Because I have not had a chance to look at it since this morning.
Just, again,
pilot error.
Pilot error, also to do the fact with, again.
It was soupy fog.
Yeah, it was like heavy fog out there in that valley. And, again, in Calabasas, where again, you have the mountain ranges up there in the Los Angeles kind of metro area, that's going to kind of play a factor into at least some things. But again, the official findings won't be out, or at least what happened won't be known for about a year.
And this was the personal pilot of Kobe Bryant. So, again, it's not like he had not flown ever before. It wasn't his first flight. So, obviously, some underlying factors that caused that crash yesterday, which we probably won't find out here for a while. All right, other things that are going on. We talked about the collegiate side. Obviously, we mentioned the Kobe Bryant on the NBA side. Let's go to the high school side.
Yeah.
There are some things to discuss in addition to some good basketball.
Yeah, we'll get into that of what happened this past weekend and some interesting things that we saw as well, too, myself and Chris Polton.
And we're only speculating on our side. So before everybody jumps in and gets down our throat, there was a tweet that was –
it was more so of Tyler from the paper. Basically, I guess if we're going to get into it, we'll get into it now. Where Cheyenne's taking on Cheyenne South this past Friday there at Story Gymnasium. The key factor from this past, at least this week, we go back to about two Tuesdays ago, at least a game that we had here on 1480 KRAE South versus Scottsbluff, where one of the starters happened to be, at least that being – don't really want to name a
Just
name.
Leave
in
the
this
name out.
But again,
he was a starter on South.
Now transferred over to Cheyenne Central to be a part of that basketball squad that we saw have significant minutes in the JV squad, and also too got in garbage time for Central in that blowout win against Laramie. Played a few minutes for Tag Lane squad. So again, for kind of middle of the season, so to speak, moves from one high school here in town over to Cheyenne Central, and it kind of brought up a couple eyebrow-raising moments from us, from those around the city of Cheyenne, also to a few head coaches as well, too, that being at least Cheyenne South head coach, at least Jeff Bailey. Following the at least loss to Cheyenne East, he talked with Tyler. Tyler got some comments. He posted on at least social media, that being Twitter. And again, that quote from Jeff Bailey, he goes, quote, "There's a culture right now in Cheyenne where it's easy to leave when things get tough. I'm proud of these kids for being loyal and wanting to be Bison," end quote. Again, off color, kind of showing some of that shade
well,
to
it's
that
not even
one.
off color. Nick, I mean, think about it, and you never.
Or at least, again, he's walking that fine line, but also to say in his mind of, hey, at least with the guys, again, as much as it's kind of rough right now to be in Bison Athletics, at least the squad that I have right now is sticking
loyal,
is toughing it out.
Well, and again, too, most. Again, I'm from the older generation, where you didn't want to transfer. You wanted, you went to school at a certain school. Yes, you wanted to finish there, whether it was athletics, whether it was academics.
Be a contributor, or at least you were going to be that piece to kind of turn it around.
And now, just because pop or mom bought a house in another area or job moved them to the other part of town, obviously it's living more than anything.
And there could be other factors as well, too, again, regarding these transfers of where maybe
we're speculating.
Student athlete is being bullied at a school. He's got to move over to here due to the fact that he doesn't want to deal with those individuals at there. Or, again, yes, it is job. Or maybe one school offers this program that, again, for Cheyenne has the IB program. Maybe you're moving them over there to be a part of that.
But again, too, in the situation of the, quote, transfer rule, and it sounds like the transfer rule is
kind of very lax.
It sounds like it's just wide open now.
It's pretty much
even in the college side now. College, before when you transferred, you had to sit out a year.
It was a penalty.
Yeah, and all of a sudden now you could go from one place to another. So why can't the high schoolers hop, skip, and jump as well as junior high and elementary schools?
And it's something where, again, I agree with Jeff Bailey on that sentiment. It's something we brought up many a time in the Spotlight Cheyenne South, where they kind of seem to be the butt end of these transfers. And again, there were some comments basically saying that South is also, too, at least denying some at least transfers in. Again, can't really confirm or deny that. Again, I did reach out to Mark Pueb to at least have him speak with us to talk about the recent transfers, or at least the policy that's going on at Cheyenne South. But, and again, it's not affecting basketball. It's something that we've seen in football.
It's sports.
It's not even this season.
It's in general.
Yeah, it's athletics in general. And again, it's not South, it's not Central, it's not East. It seems like it's high schools from Class 4A to Class 1A throughout the entire state of Wyoming. Again, we look, again, not to say that they did it for a specific reason, but you look at Cheyenne East's situation right now, where you have star athletes on both men and women, at least boys and girls basketball, and also to football, that being the Buells. Graydon and again, his sister Kai Buell, originally in Rock Springs.
Right.
Moved out to, and again, now we're part of the Cheyenne East program, and again, doing phenomenal things right now for the Thunderbirds.
Well, I'm sure they weren't recruited to go to East. I mean, again,
and again,
I go back to a situation.
I
go back into a situation this summer, Nick, in our own neighborhood.
Yeah,
the kid was going to go to South.
It's not good when the parents
sold their home and moved to a home that was in the East High District. That's their prerogative.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there is no loyalty anymore. The second portion, again, my opinion on stuff like this is, you go to this school and you just don't like it, and I'm talking about the way things are going. You just pack up and leave. I mean, it's just not kosher. But also, too, the second part of that is,
it's not kosher, but also, too, again, sitting the fine line, or at least sitting on the fence on that, where you see both sides. Yes, you kind of say, hey, stick it out, or at least kind of tough it out. Again,
I guess then you want to go to the cool school that wins all of the athletic events. If your son or daughter's in athletics, it's all about. And again, too, I wish you guys were fantastic in athletics, whatever the case may be. And I would have sent you here, and your sister went there, and you guys would have been superstars. That's not You went to the school.
Well, no.
You went to the school where we live in.
Before you cut me off, though, on my point, though, again, to see both sides of the aisle, though, again, I get it of, hey, it's not kosher, it's not cool, stick it out, or at least why leave those programs in that school hanging high and dry. But also, too, at least it is something, though, for those kind of specific reasons I mentioned earlier, again, more of those personal levels, whether it is bully situation, program offerings, again, classes that one school may offer that others don't. You have that option, though, or at least that availability to at least transfer to that school to make it that much more better of life, better studying habits, whatever it may be.
That's one scenario.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. The second scenario is it's athletics.
Yeah.
Okay? If you got a problem with the athletics, all right, there's a couple of things you do. Usually there's parents' committees because the parents are usually putting together the pregame meals and all this stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
They're involved. You identify a leader of that parent committee. You march that person into the athletic director's office. You say, hey, our football program is this. Our basketball program is that. I don't like the track and field situation. What are you going to do about it?
Well, again, have those scenarios happened at, again, various schools across the state of Wyoming? Possibly, but also,
Absolutely.
Again, could there be a scenario, though, that at least administrator in charge of that, at least department, could not care less? Could it be an issue from the top, though, where this culture that is happening, again, that Jeff Bailey kind of talks about, the growing culture here in Cheyenne, is it something that is happening at the top, though? Is it something from administrative kind of level that is
Are they
allowing
hiring
this
not
to
the right coach? Are the right candidates not being looked at?
I'm talking more so of administrative of the athletic department of basically saying, hey, here's your transfer request. Bye-bye. I don't care.
I would like to know what the Laramie County School District take is on this. And again, too, if this is about athletics, I'd like to know where the Wyoming High School Activity Association stands on this. Because
I wouldn't doubt they'll probably get their heads in the sand.
Yeah. But you couldn't transfer in the middle of a season and put on one jersey one day.
Yeah, it was even if you were living in the actual district. Again, this is going back to at least my time where it was a situation that you were forced 1 year. You had a year. It was no ifs and buts about it. If you moved and you transferred to a school on athletics, you had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
There was no loophole. There was no nothing. You had to face the penalty.
This is not baseball where you get traded during the first game of a doubleheader, and then you get to go to the other locker room in the next game. This is not the majors.
Yeah.
This is high school. And again, this is ludicrous. You play one day with this school, the next day, 2 days later you're with another school. That's not kosher. But evidently, everybody agreed that it was okay.
I wouldn't say everyone. Again, you had Coach Bailey kind of snake around. Or
I know, but there's got to be some type of written rule out there. Whether it's in Laramie County School District number 1, whether it's with the Wyoming High School Activity Association, there's got to be some type of written rule. And if you want to challenge it in court, which everybody does these days, great, terrific.
And that's probably the reason why it's so lax at this point in time, due to the fact that, school districts already hurting with money, don't need a lawsuit. Don't want to face that litigation, again, lose loss of money that they're already strapped on. Who knows at this point in time?
Again, the loyalty factor. And again, the kids' parents could probably say the same thing to me, that there's no loyalty shown to their children in their sports, in their student-athlete competitions, that, hey, we've got the same coach in place that doesn't know how to win or is not doing anything to benefit my child. I don't know.
The coach in place did know how to win at Cheyenne East, but again, at least went from there and over to Cheyenne South and now has that opportunity. It's something where, what is the fine line right now? Where does the problem stem from?
I'm talking program, Nick, any program.
Well, either way, though, again, outside of that, my point is, though, to find the stem of the issue right now, whether it is here in the city of Cheyenne in our high schools, whether it is East, Central, or South, and throughout the state of Wyoming in any class, 4A to 1A, it's something that's got to stem from either administration, whether it is on the Activities Association situation, and again, not to put all the blame or at least hatred towards one Chad Whitworth, but again, Chad, who is involved at least in the Class 4A for the Southeast Quadrant, who overlooks all the 4 schools, that including Laramie. Does it fall on? Is it a situation with him, who is also an athletic director over at Cheyenne Central?
No, he's on a committee.
Again, he's the board of directors, but again, he oversees what happens here in the Southeast Quadrant.
But also, too, there's 4 or 5 guys that have to vote on something.
Is it him? Is it principals at these 3 schools? Is it Jerry Shalabs? Is it Mark Puev? Is it Boyd Brown right now? Is it Ron Laird? Is it the Activities Association?
It has to go through the High School Activities Association because situation happened years ago. It was in Gillette where star running back who was a junior, ended up going to Sheridan his senior year because they were going to win under Don Julian. And he had a great year up in Sheridan. So I don't know if the family moved or he went and lived with relatives. I have no idea.
Again, you not saying that it was for a specific reason, but to give, as you talk about that scenario, again, we had the similar situation here in town at Cheyenne East with the Buells. Again, they were originally at Rock Springs, played their freshman years with the Rock Spring Tigers, transferred over here in town. And now we've had great success with Cheyenne East where,
Is the family working in town, though? Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so the jobs brought them to Cheyenne.
But could it have been, and again, not assuming or not saying it's this situation, but could it have been a situation for that family or any other families that kind of look for, hey, all right, I already have a decent job here in Rock Springs. Let's see if they got it in Cheyenne where those high schools are a little bit better than what's happening here in Rock Springs.
Where my children are going to get better looks?
Better looks towards that next level because I know they have the talent that we're on Rock Springs. Not that it gets the Tigers, but it's not where Cheyenne East is on football. It's not where Cheyenne East is currently on basketball. Again, Cheyenne East for both the boys and girls, again, sitting at 1 or 2 respectively on the polls, and teams that are anticipated to walk away, if not with a state championship, or at least make it to that title game.
See, and I understand this, Nick, that if you're in a athletic program that's not doing well, whether it's football or basketball, but there's usually 1 or 2 or 3 standout youngsters on that team.
Yeah.
That probably are getting looks. They're
you would hope so.
They're playing on a team that's not doing well, but they stand out.
Yeah.
As a good individual on a not good team.
Where are you going to get better looks though? From a team that's winning or a team that's losing?
A team that's winning, obviously. But again,
I don't have
you're
going to get better and more looks at is again where don't really care what this team's doing on the bottom. Oh, this team's winning state titles, or this team's being consistently good throughout a season. All right, I'll take a look at what those athletes are doing.
So again, this begs the question: is it a Laramie County School District number 1 problem, or is it a statewide problem? Again,
Going back to the Bailey quote, he said it was, at least in his opinion, a Cheyenne problem. It was a growing Cheyenne problem, and I agree with Bailey. We've seen it in multiple.
No, we've seen it more than once. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's not in football. It's not in basketball. It's throughout all of the athletics here in town. But it's also something that I see throughout the entire state. And it doesn't matter what division, what classification, what sport it is. It's something that is growing throughout this city and the state in general.
Okay.
And for what reasons? Again, that's between athletic departments, the Activities Association, athletic directors, those students, and their parents.
So
right now,
the question is to you then, I throw it to you. What is to be done? What can be done?
I don't think you could enforce that your policy right now. I don't think the Activities Association could do that. I don't think school districts could do that. I think that's, in my opinion, a little too harsh because, again, you can have those circumstances that, I had no choice. I had to move here due to that.
But they should not. The youngster,
the
youngster should not be allowed to play.
You got to find a way to make sure that it is not abused, that this system is not abused, but again is fair enough, but also has a penalty due to the fact of that. Whether it is you don't play, for the remainder of the season of the transfer, you are suspended for a couple games. You're not allowed to step.
You should have X amount of practices with that team
before you
can suit up.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's what I would feel. I mean,
there's got to be some sort of happy penalty
Yeah.
where, again, it's not a year death sentence, but it is something of, okay, we're going to penalize you this way just so this system is not abused.
But it's not the kids' fault. Let's first and foremost say it's not the kids' fault. It's an adult problem.
Uh-huh.
The second thing is on the kids' side, if you are suited up with this group here one night and you are suited up 2 nights later with another group, no, that shouldn't happen. You should have to have X amount of practices, and whether it takes you through the end of the season, so be it.
Yeah.
You have to learn their system. And you should have an action. Actually, Nick, before you transfer from one institution to the next, academics comes before athletics. So, are you caught up on Are you caught up on academics?
Yeah.
Where are you at? Are you within that group? And then you worry about athletics. But again, the question it has to be thrown out. Where's Laird at in this? He's the commissioner of the Wyoming High School. Does he still have his head in the sand?
We've already learned he's kind of
yeah.
useless.
Yeah, he's on the milk carton.
Everyone knows our opinion on that guy.
Yeah, he's on the milk carton. Or do we go and address this with Dr. Boyd Brown? And again, he's a fan of athletics, so he's not going to be
he's been familiar with Gillette, where again Gillette's diehard athletics. They love everything, whether it is from Rough Rider baseball
he's not
to
afraid to pony up to the bar. He'll talk to us. I mean, we got to find.
I could reach out. The only entity I reached out to, and I thought about at least reaching out to Chad Whitworth. I certainly can. I've reached out to Mark Poev, AD at Cheyenne South. He has not responded back to me. I hope to hear from him soon. But I can certainly get Boyd Brown in. We've talked with him before, and we can get his thoughts on what's happening. If this is, again, according to Coach Bailey, Coach Bailey's been in Cheyenne for quite some time. He knows the systems. He knows the ins and outs.
He played ball at Cheyenne East, for gosh sakes. He graduated from Cheyenne East.
So when he says that, in his opinion, it's a growing trend, or at least it's a culture that is starting to kind of plague Cheyenne, the guy knows what he knows what he's seen. He's been through, he's been at Cheyenne East, now Cheyenne South. He knows how the back end works.
This went from social media to our local newspaper. So it's not like we're breaking the news here. This is not bulletin material. This has already been released.
Well, this is something we've talked about for years now.
So
this is something where we look at, again, Central has been, Central, this is not the first time Central has had a South basketball player part of their squad.
May Central's been victimized before, too.
That's true, too. East has as well. Laramie, South, again, even Rock Springs or throughout the entire state. Again, is it a Cheyenne thing? Is it a Wyoming thing? Is it just Class 4A? Right now, it seems like it's a growing trend, not in this city, but again, throughout this state.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back, and we got more right after this on 1480 KRAE.
What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab & Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
You're looking for fun and style? Then the new 2019 Kia Optima has what you need. And here at Kia of Cheyenne, we can help you own one. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Optima will reward your daily drive with comfort, performance, and advanced engineering. Kia Optima technology, your phone allows access to remote lock or unlock, climate control, 24-hour roadside assistance, and much more. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Water heater? You could spend $1,300 or more on a gas-fired water heater. Or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy?
Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more or call 307-245-3261. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
First Tier Bank's drives remain competitive and offer some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, mostly cloudy with a chance of snow showers developing this afternoon. Look for a daytime high near 40. Winds will be northwesterly at 5 to 10, increasing to 10 to 15 this afternoon. Mostly cloudy for tonight, then gradually becoming clear after midnight. Our low down to 23. Mostly sunny and breezy for your Tuesday. Expect a daytime high near 43. Mostly cloudy Tuesday night. Our low down to 23. And for Wednesday, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of snow showers. Look for a daytime high of 37 degrees.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
What are you even talking about, the scores?
That's what we're going to talk about right now, as there was a lot of basketball action over the weekend. The top teams here on the local side, on the boys' side, Cheyenne Central, Cheyenne East fared well over the weekend.
It wasn't even really a contest overall.
And girls did too.
Yeah, again, it was pretty much just blowouts. Friday's games, as we'll start on the girls' side of things, game that we had here on 1480 KRAE this past Friday live from the field house. Cheyenne Central, number 2 at the time, Lady Indians taking on Laramie Plainsman team. Again, Laramie, who's had a bit of struggles, also too without their head coach due to the fact of a double technical that they picked up in their loss against Cheyenne East on Wednesday. So for Cheyenne Central, Lady Indians, it was not a pretty one. Central, as we've talked about at that Greeley tournament, and all the way now as they're approaching 12, 13 games of the season, they got a lot of problems, they got a lot of flaws. And Laramie is another squad that you can get away with those flaws, but this Friday when you're at Story Gymnasium taking on Cheyenne East, the number 1 team right now in the land that should still stay as number 1 ranked in the polls, East is going to make you pay. And I think we're going to see that East is that solid team, and they're going to find those chinks in the armor for Cheyenne Central and make them pay for it, at least coming up. That's in my opinion. I think for Coach Kirkbride, there was a lot of issues in Friday's game. Whether it was errant shooting. It was errant shooting. It was rushing shots. Turnovers aplenty. Basically what we saw at the field house for Cheyenne Central was kind of a mimic situation of what we see with LCCC.
Uh-huh.
Glad that you're paying attention.
No, I am. I'm following what you're saying here. And again with the Indians, Lady Indians, they've got the talent. There's no doubt they got the talent.
They got the talent, but right now
they just find ways to cough it up, give it up, and not put the biscuit in the basket.
It's something that you were fortunate you took on a Laramie team, but when you see the likes of Thunder Basin, when you're going to see the likes of Cheyenne East, when you're going to see Gillette's of the world, Sheridan, whoever it may be throughout at least conference and again at least getting ready for that at least regional tournament, Cheyenne Central, you need to get this out of your system now before these teams make you pay and basically show of, yes, you're not really that number 2 team as everyone thinks you are.
And again, you look at the East Central matchup on the ladies' side, okay? On paper,
On paper, I would say heavily favored is going to be East.
On paper, Central's the bigger team.
Yeah. Size-wise, without a doubt.
Bigger team. But again, you've got the one main threat, and she could dump a 40 spot on you any time she wants. Kai Buell.
Yeah,
she's just a natural athlete, natural basketball athlete. So with Central, there is no margin of error in this contest. They can't miss the easy bunnies.
No, you can't have cold spells, turnovers, and plenty of what you had against Laramie.
You can't have Fernio carry the team on your back. She needs help.
Well, Fernio or Delbridge. Delbridge, again, you need the help, and that's going to be from the Jones sisters.
Yeah, and again, both of them. Not one, but both of those. And you got a 6'2" youngster on the floor. She needs to set the tone inside.
Yeah, without a doubt. Looking at this past Friday's games, though, Cheyenne East at Story Gymnasium taking on Cheyenne South. East takes care of business in that one, 55-41. The game that we had against Cheyenne Central taking on Laramie there at the Fieldhouse. Central Lady Indians win that contest 43-26. So, again, it sets up for number 1 versus number 2 between East and Central this Friday over at Story Gymnasium, myself and Chris Bolton. That will be a 5:30 start time there at Story Gymnasium with a girls contest. For the boys, it'll be at 7 o'clock, and it will feature Cheyenne East and Cheyenne Central. Looking at Cheyenne East's game against Cheyenne South. East on the boys' side at Story Gym takes care of business pretty handily over the Fighting Bison 74-45. And Cheyenne Central, as we saw against Laramie, as I said, Central, who's beating this team? I don't see a single team. East might give them
except for Scotts Bluff.
East, well, yeah, that's outside of the state of Nebraska, but in the state of Wyoming, I don't really see that team. East might give them a chance, or at least give them a fighter's opportunity against Central, but Central is kind of that perfect team.
A lot of pressure is going to be on Xavier McCord. But again, too, he's going to need some help. And I mean, everybody.
And you look at Demetrius, you look at his brother, and you look at all those other pieces.
Yeah, again, you're going to have Buell, Graydon Buell. You're going to have to Miller. You're going to have a full team effort because again, it's not just Lawson Lovering. It's
Storbo,
Brady Storbo,
it's
Talich, it's Stanfleet.
Talich, who had an off game this past Friday, still got that slack picked up by whether it was, again, a Storbo twins or whether it was Lawson Lover on the inside, whether it was Ryan Stanfleet. Again, this is a Central High team on the boys' side that is a complete package, not just starters, but again, you got bench play that can contribute very well. Again, we saw at least Carter Lobatos have kind of interesting minutes. He's been a contributor to the Central High Indians.
He doesn't score a lot, but he helps you out on the floor. Cates also performs well if he can stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah.
LeBeaumont also gives a good spell in for Lovering. But again, what Central is showing us right now is that they don't have to beat you with just Lawson Lovering.
Yeah, they are multi-tool.
They've got many weapons. Again, what I like about Cheyenne East, they're consistent. They're not tall. They're not Lawson Lovering tall, but they're consistent on the wings. They're big in the backcourt, and again, they're a team that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Rusty Horsley, who's been in this coaching business for a long time, knows how to handle the basketball.
Yeah.
Teaches the kids how to handle the basketball. They're not going to be coughing it up. Central is going to have to be on top of their game. But East,
which they already are right now,
and East is going to have to play phenomenal defense. And again,
you
just can't
that
shut
phenomenal
down Lawson.
That phenomenal defense where you got to shut down the 7-footer of Lawson, you got to shut down the 6'5", 6'6" Storbo twins, and again, you face the wrath of Brock and Brady. Brady, at least both of them kind of go hand in hand. One comes off the bench, the other one starts, and then again you have LeBeaumont that also comes off the bench, who's got some size. Same with the Storbo, at least going back to the Storbo twins. They got size and bulk. They're big bodies that you're going to try and push around out there. They're not moving at least a whole lot of inches out there on that court if you're trying to drive inside on some of them. But again, this is also a team that has size and height. But the other big factor is with that size and height, they have a lot of speed too. But it is a quick scoring team.
But the thing about East, and I'll go on the other side of Spain, they wear you down.
Central does the same thing.
I understand, but they physically can beat you down. East can.
Yeah.
Central, they can wear you down. They can wear you down by, again, they got many weapons, outside, inside, even short range.
Yeah.
But Cheyenne East pounds on you for the full 32 minutes, and they just don't let up. So this is probably the matchup you definitely want to see. And this is the first of maybe 4 times that we see these teams played again.
There's a good opportunity. It'll be our first time seeing Cheyenne East this season. We've seen plenty of Central. We've seen plenty of South. But this is the first time we'll see the Thunderbirds and Lady Thunderbirds. Again, this game happening, at least these games happening this Friday at Story Gymnasium, 5:30 and 7. Again, myself and Chris Bolton will be live there, high atop Story Gym, as we'll be broadcasting on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming on Periscope via Twitter and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. So looking forward to it. Is at least the new heated rivalry between these two. With seen fireworks between these two teams happen there at Story Gymnasium. Again, you were at that infamous game a couple of years ago. So
when the battle royal broke out?
Yeah, anything and everything could happen when these two meet up on the court. So it should be a fun one. You might see, in my opinion, a split. And East on the girls' side might take care of business, and Central, the perfect outfit where, again, I've pretty much have handed the crown to the Indians.
So you don't see a sweep. You see a split, either guys and girls.
Again, what is it going to take to slow down this Central High team? As you're talking about, East could do it. I don't see it. Is there any other team in the Eastern Conference on the boys' side that could slow down this Central High team? Could Sheridan? Could Thunder Basin? Could Gillette? I don't really see it. I don't.
At least on the East quadrant right now, I would think if anybody
this is a team that is no longer making young mistakes.
Sheridan's going to probably try to muscle you around, especially when you go up there. It's also, hey, I've been there many times. Sheridan's a tough house to win in. Trust me. So when Central goes on the road, and luckily, you don't really go on the road when you're playing East or South. And again, going to Story Gym or playing in the field house.
The neutral side.
Those are home games for you. But the 3 road trips that you got to make, Thunder Basin, Gillette, Sheridan, and Natrona. Natrona's not all that bad. But
they're not all that good either, though.
Well, but going to Casper is not that hard of a road trip. But Thunder Basin, Gillette, that's a tough road trip. Same with the one to Sheridan. And like I said, going to Sheridan, I've seen them bring down good teams before too. Really
even on the road teams. Though for Cheyenne Central, this is a team that is near perfect. In my opinion, we've seen good sample sizes of this team outside of non-conference, out-of-state opponents. Again, their loss was a team that I said with Scottsbluff that looks on paper very similar, plays very similar. Guess what? They got beat by the similar team. It didn't shock me that they lost to Scottsbluff. At Scottsbluff, nonetheless. But here in the state of Wyoming, though, it brings up that question right now on the boys' side. Is it just safe to assume and just hand the crown already to the Central High Indians?
That's why they play the games.
Yeah, that's true, too.
And remember, every year it's Alabama winning the collegiate football championship. Somebody forgot to mention that to LSU this year where they ran the table and beat Alabama soundly.
I just think Central right now has all pieces firing. This is a team that has everything going for them. Everything going right.
I'll feel more comfortable after that last Saturday at the state championship.
Well, yeah, again, certainly, but also to a good litmus test, or at least eye candy opportunity coming up this Friday between these two of Cheyenne East and Cheyenne Central to see who does come out on top. Could East shock the world, or does Central take care of business as they've been doing throughout this entire year?
It all remains to be seen. All right, we're going to take a timeout. Our last timeout. We'll be back. We'll get ready to wrap things up here on 1480 KRAE.
Compassionate, expert, efficient care. The cornerstones of Cheyenne Urological with Doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and Suleski, providing top-notch treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities. And now, Cheyenne Urological is offering Resume, a new non-invasive procedure for BPH using water vapor. So for the finest in urinary care, call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio Buys, heard only right here, feature Blacktooth Variety Pack. 12-pack of 12-ounce cans, $14.99. 1800 Silver, Reposado, or Coconut Tequila, 750 milliliter bottle, $21.99.
And Bailey's Irish Cream Liqueur, 1.75-liter bottle, $31.99. Town and Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger Grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger Grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store for well over 50-plus years. Not only do we offer several major brands, but we service what we sell. We also have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts and service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
Every day we have the opportunity to lead by example. In delivering reliable, affordable, and responsible electricity to power what matters to you, we are taking bold steps to change how your energy is produced. With 50% of your electricity coming from renewable sources by 2024. Because as a cooperative, we are changing together. Whatever the future holds, we'll power it. Tri-State, cooperative power, transformed.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, mostly cloudy with a chance of snow showers developing this afternoon. Look for a daytime high near 40. Winds will be northwesterly at 5 to 10, increasing to 10 to 15 this afternoon. Mostly cloudy for tonight, then gradually becoming clear after midnight. Our low down to 23. Mostly sunny and breezy for your Tuesday. Expect a daytime high near 43. Mostly cloudy Tuesday night. Our low down to 23. And for Wednesday, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of snow showers. Look for a daytime high of 37 degrees.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
A couple things here from me before we get going. As we want to remind you, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour tonight, we're back. Yes, it's been a couple days since we last
Thursday.
Since we last had the Golden Age of Radio Theater. Space Patrol, 8 until 9 o'clock. Suspense Theater from 9 until 10, and the best of the 50s and 60s musically in a few TikToks. So we got done with our games on Saturday. And I go home and fell asleep in my favorite chair, and I woke up and just for giggles, I went to the NFL Network, and they're showing all of the Super Bowls. And where I'm really just PO'd is that the productions by the late Ed Sable, his son Steve Sable, the great voice over from the late John Facenda, they were our programs of these Super Bowls. I remember you had.
Yeah.
Well, the NFL Network cut them down to 30 minutes. So, I mean, you miss. Basically what they do, they edit it down a quarter or quarter and a half, and it's like, what the hell? You mean you guys can't show a 1 hour production? You gotta cut it in half. And I thought, because I watched some of the early.
We're at Super Bowl 54, so you're talking well over 2 days.
What does the NFL Network got going on right now besides? They're going
to have press conference, media. You have the stupid Pro Bowl going on again, the skills competition, all that other crap.
But early in the morning.
I don't know at this point in time, it's only stuff for you to kind of complain about. But again, it is at that point where it's like you got 53 hours of content. Then
what's 53 hours? That's 2 days plus. And again,
who has that time to watch all that?
Well, you don't have to watch them all. But if you sign on at midnight, just for argument's sake, and you watch Super Bowl 2 with the Raiders and the Packers, you at least know by 14 hours, which would be at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, by about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll be able to watch the 49ers and Cincinnati. If you were
Or I can watch something else, or, again, just do something else with my life.
Anyway, going back to football, and I wanted to wrap it up this way. Like I said, NFL Network, you get a thumbs down from me on that. Peyton Manning retired. Excuse me, Eli Manning retired.
I was going to say Peyton.
Peyton's already retired. Eli retired on Friday. He went out his own way.
No surprise.
39 years old, 2 Super Bowl rings. I guess
not a Hall of Famer.
Not a Hall of Famer.
No.
Okay, that was my question. Do you think Hall of Fame will be called?
I don't think so. I
think he eventually gets in.
It might take him time, but he might be a Larry Walker situation where it might take him time to get in.
So in 5 years from today, or from Friday where he made the announcement, he will not be in.
Would it surprise me if he's in the Hall of Fame? No. In my opinion, seeing his stats and what they went over, and again, the 2 Super Bowls, is he a Hall of Famer? It's on the fence, but I'd probably lean no. But, it is what it is. And speaking of quarterbacks, or at least now ex-quarterbacks, it happened to at least come out today that the L.A. Chargers and Phillip Rivers, they've kind of mutually parted ways. At least the L.A. Chargers basically said that we have no interest of re-signing one Phillip Rivers. So that time, that era of, again, Charger uniform and for Phillip Rivers is now done.
And think about the Chargers, even though you go back to that one time they made the Super Bowl. I think it was Billy Joe Tolliver who was a quarterback against the 49ers.
Where they got thumped.
But you go look at Charger history and their quarterbacks and the longevity. John Hadle replaced by Dan Fouts, and Dan Fouts eventually replaced by one Phillip Rivers. I mean, you're talking 3 quarterbacks that span almost about between the three of them, about almost 50 years.
You also, have a couple goofs that were tossed in, Ryan Leaf, but also, you had a lot of previous, at least you had some potential superstars that you also let go of that Chargers uniform as well. I do believe one, at least now in New Orleans, you
mean Drew Brees, who they gave up on? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, but I'm just saying, though.
Them and quarterbacks don't really go hand in hand.
You look at the history of the Chargers, again, that dates back 60 years now. And you look at primarily 3 quarterbacks have been at the helm for that team throughout their history.
And what has come from it? Nothing.
Well, yeah, neither one of those 3
you
left to the Super
You got
Bowl.
a fan base now out there that doesn't care.
When they move to their new stadium?
When their new stadium, it's going to be primarily the Rams. Yeah.
Well, and again, I think once they moved out of San Diego, I think they did lose the fan base because Carson, California, did not support the Chargers.
They could
matter
care
of fact,
less.
you saw the games like we did, or like I did, and again, they were usually cheering for the visiting team that came in. So there's not a true blue Charger fan.
You wonder how long that Chargers franchise is going to exist there. Where again, they're going to share that stadium with at least with the Rams. Rams are pretty much, again, the dominant factor out there in Los Angeles. You wonder how long that Chargers franchise has before NFL goes, okay, let's get you out of here. We don't need 2 LA franchises.
Move to Oakland. Who knows?
That could be a possibility.
Oh, no. I don't want the Chargers in Oakland. Send them back to San Diego, please. Build them a stadium there along the beachfront. All right, we got to wrap things up.